You've been told bad soil means no fruit. That whoever told you that, lied to you. Most gardeners look at their rocky, sandy, waterlogged, or clay-heavy ground and give up before they even start. They spend hundreds trying to fix soil that honestly doesn't need fixing, because the right trees already love it exactly the way it is. Today I'm pulling back the curtain on 13 fruit trees that don't just survive in terrible soil, they actually prefer it. Some of these have been feeding families for centuries, and somehow, almost nobody is planting them anymore. Stay with me to the end, because number 7 is the one that's going to completely change how you see that patch of ground you've been ignoring. Welcome back to Earthly Gardening. If you're new here, so glad you found us. This channel is your go-to spot for real, practical gardening advice that won't drain your wallet. And to our returning family, you already know we don't do fluff here. Before we get into it, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. We drop content every week that saves gardeners like you real time and real money. Like this video if you want to see more lists like this one, and drop a comment below telling me what your soil situation looks like. Is it sandy? Clay? Rocky? Waterlogged? Let me know, because I read every single one. Tree number 1, Elderberry. Let's start with one that most people walk right past at the nursery without giving a second glance. Elderberry. This tree doesn't care what your soil looks like. Waterlogged after heavy rain? Fine. Compacted clay that cracks in summer? Still fine. Elderberry has been growing in ditches, riverbanks, and neglected corners of land for thousands of years without anyone babying it. What you get in return is honestly embarrassing for how little effort it asks. The berries are packed with antioxidants, people sell elderberry syrup for serious money, and the flowers alone can be used to make teas, cordials, and even fritters. It grows fast, it spreads on its own over time, and wildlife absolutely loves it. If your yard has a low spot that stays wet after rain, stop fighting it and plant an elderberry there instead. Tree number 2, Persimmon. Here's one that sounds exotic but is actually native to North America and parts of Asia. The American persimmon in particular is one of the toughest fruit trees you will ever come across. It grows in clay, it grows in sandy ground, it handles drought, and it handles flood. It essentially laughs at the conditions that would kill most other fruit trees. The fruit itself is incredibly sweet once it's fully ripe, almost like honey. And the tree asks for almost nothing in return. No heavy fertilizing, no soil amendments, no drama. People overlook it because the fruit is unfamiliar to them, but once you taste a fully ripe persimmon straight off the tree on a cool autumn morning, you will wonder why you waited so long. Tree number 3, Pawpaw. Stay with me here because this one is genuinely special. The pawpaw is the largest fruit native to North America and it tastes like someone crossed a banana with a mango and hid it inside a green pod. It naturally grows in rich woodland soil but adapts surprisingly well to heavy clay and even partially shaded areas where other fruit trees simply refuse to perform. It loves moisture and actually does better in low-lying areas that hold water longer than they should. Most gardeners avoid those spots. Pawpaw gardeners seek them out. The fruit doesn't ship well, which is exactly why you never see it in supermarkets, meaning the only way to eat one fresh is to grow it yourself. That alone makes it worth planting. Tree number 4, Mulberry. If you want a fruit tree that will grow in practically any condition you throw at it, mulberry is your answer. Poor soil, compacted ground, urban pollution, drought, heat, it handles all of it without complaint. It grows fast, sometimes several feet in a single season, and it produces fruit in enormous quantities. The berries taste like a cross between a blackberry and a grape, sweet with just enough tartness to keep things interesting. Birds love them, which is either a bonus or a challenge depending on how you look at it. Plant it somewhere you don't mind a little mess under the tree during harvest season and you will have more fruit than you know what to do with, year after year, with almost zero maintenance. Tree number 5, Fig. Figs have a reputation for being fussy, but that reputation belongs to the wrong variety. Common figs, the kind that don't need pollination to produce fruit, are actually some of the most resilient trees you can plant. They grow in sandy soil, rocky ground, and dry conditions that would stress most other trees considerably. In fact, figs planted in soil that is too rich and too fertile tend to produce a lot of leaves and very little fruit. Give them poor, dry, well-draining ground and they respond by putting their energy exactly where you want it, into the fruit. They've been growing in Mediterranean climates for over 10,000 years in some of the most unforgiving terrain imaginable. That tells you everything you need to know. Tree number 6, Serviceberry. This one goes by several names depending on where you live. Juneberry, Saskatoon, Shadbush. But whatever you call it, the serviceberry is a small tree that handles tough conditions remarkably well. It grows naturally in rocky hillsides, thin soil, and areas with poor drainage. It's one of the first trees to bloom in spring and one of the first to fruit in early summer. The berries look like small blueberries and taste mildly sweet with an almost almond-like undertone. They work beautifully in pies, jams, and eaten straight off the branch. This tree also puts on a stunning fall color display, which means it earns its space in the yard across multiple seasons, not just at harvest time. Now pause right here. If you are still watching and finding this useful, do me a favor and hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this video reach more gardeners who are out there struggling with the same soil problems you have. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a great time. Drop a comment below with which tree surprised you the most so far. I want to know. Let's keep going because the next few are where things get really interesting. Tree number 7, Sea Buckthorn. This is the one I promised you at the beginning and it delivers. Sea Buckthorn grows in sandy, coastal, nutrient-poor soil that would make most gardeners cry. It actually fixes nitrogen in the soil as it grows, meaning it improves the ground around it over time rather than depleting it. It is essentially doing your soil amendment work for free. The berries are small, bright orange, and absolutely loaded with vitamins. More vitamin C than oranges. More vitamin E than almost anything else you can grow at home. They are tart, almost aggressively so, but blended into juices, syrups, and sauces they are extraordinary. The tree also has thorns which makes it a natural barrier hedge. You get a productive fruit tree and a security fence in one planting. Tree number 8, Chay Tree. Most people have never heard of this one and that is exactly why it's on this list. The Chay Tree, also called the Chinese mulberry, is native to East Asia and produces fruit that tastes like a sweet watermelon crossed with a figure. Unusual combination but genuinely delicious. It grows in poor, dry, rocky soil and handles drought better than most fruit trees you'll find at your local garden center. It's also remarkably pest resistant, which means fewer headaches and less money spent on treatments. The tree itself is attractive, with glossy leaves that catch the light well. It flies completely under the radar in Western gardening culture, but people who grow it rarely stop talking about it. Tree number 9, Jujube. The Jujube has been cultivated in China for over 4,000 years and the reason it has lasted that long is simple. It refuses to die. It grows in alkaline soil, salty soil, dry soil, and clay. It handles heat that would scorch other trees and drought that would kill them outright. Neglect it completely and it will still produce fruit. Fresh jujubes taste like a crisp apple. Dried, they taste almost like a date, sweet and chewy. They are eaten raw, dried, candied, brewed into tea, and used in traditional medicine. In parts of Asia they are as common as apples are in the West. Here, almost nobody grows them, which honestly just means less competition for those of us who know better. Tree number 10, Autumn Olive. Before anyone jumps in the comments, yes, this tree is considered invasive in some parts of North America and you should absolutely check your local regulations before planting it. That said, where it is permitted, it is an extraordinarily productive fruit tree for difficult ground. Like sea buckthorn, it fixes nitrogen in the soil. It grows in compacted, poor, disturbed ground where almost nothing else will establish. The berries are small, red, and speckled silver, with a sweet tart flavor that works well in jams and sauces. Some studies suggest the berries contain more lycopene than tomatoes. It's a controversial plant but an undeniably capable one in the right context. Tree number 11, Loquat. If you live in a warmer climate and your soil is somewhere between average and genuinely terrible, the Loquat deserves a serious look. It grows in poor, dry, rocky ground and asks for very little once established. It flowers in winter and fruits in early spring, filling a gap in the harvest calendar when almost nothing else is producing. The fruit is mild, slightly sweet, and works beautifully in preserves and fresh eating. The tree itself is evergreen, attractive, and large enough to provide real shade. In parts of Japan and China it has been grown for over 1,000 years. In most Western gardens it's either unknown or underestimated, which puts it squarely on this list. Tree number 12, Cornelian Cherry. This is technically a dogwood but it fruits like a cherry and grows like a weed in the best possible sense. It tolerates clay soil, alkaline conditions, partial shade, and dry summers. It is one of the earliest trees to flower each year, sometimes as early as February, providing critical early nectar for pollinators when little else is blooming. The fruit is small, red, and tart, somewhere between a sour cherry and a cranberry. It makes exceptional jam and has been used medicinally across Eastern Europe and parts of Asia for centuries. The tree is long-lived, incredibly low maintenance, and doubles as a beautiful ornamental. It gives you function, beauty, and resilience in a single package. Tree number 13, Black Chokeberry. Finishing strong with one that earns its place through sheer nutritional power. Black chokeberry, also called aronia, grows naturally in wet, boggy, poorly drained soil that most fruit trees would drown in. It also handles dry spells once established, making it unusually adaptable across different soil conditions. The berries are deep purple, almost black, and so rich in antioxidants that researchers have spent years studying them. They are astringent, eaten fresh but cooked into juices, wines, and jams. They are genuinely excellent. The fall foliage turns a stunning deep red and the plant itself stays compact and manageable, making it practical even in smaller gardens. Here is what ties all 13 of these trees together. None of them are asking you to fix your soil first. None of them need expensive amendments, perfect drainage, or ideal conditions. They were built for the ground that most gardeners give up on. The real secret isn't finding better soil. It's finding the right tree for the soil you already have. Pick one from this list that matches your conditions and your climate. Start with one. Get comfortable with it. Then add another. Before long you'll have a productive garden in the ground that everyone else told you was useless. That's exactly what earthly gardening is about. Working with what you have and spending less while you do it. If this video helped you today, please like it before you go. Subscribe if you haven't already because we have a lot more of this coming. And drop a comment below with the tree you're most likely to try first. I genuinely want to know. See you in the next one.